This is a general overview video for using Flobot, just a high level one. On each of these tabs across the top here and any ones that are going to appear, there is a video on each one, so have a look for them if you get stuck. They will be appearing in the system soon, but you can always get them on support.myflobot.com. This is basically for people who've just finished the wizard and presented with this screen, which is the dashboard, and are wondering exactly what to do next. So I'll just explain at a very high level what most of the tabs mean and dip into a few bits and pieces like quotes and appointments so that you can get started and have a play around with it. So to start with, you can see that this is the dashboard. It has some information here about your orders and appointments. You won't see this in the first instance because you haven't populated it with any data, but the more data you do populate it with, the more information it will display. So dashboard across the top. All of these ones on the top left here are what we call a global menu system. So these tabs here pertain to all of your information that is held in the system. And as you drill down into those, like orders for instance, you'll see that you get another menu here, like a sub menu, and this menu here pertains to the information which is held in a particular order or an account. But we'll go across the top. So we have inquiries. To start with, you can't get any information in, generally speaking, unless you take an inquiry from a customer in the first instance. You can upload an Excel spreadsheet, but that is on or an XLS file on a different video to put your existing data in. But so for instance, if you wanted to take an inquiry, and there's a video on this, enter this information in here, and you will have taken an inquiry. And once you sign that off into an order, you'll first start to populate your CRM. Quotes. This is a tab for showing you all the quotes that you've got outstanding there. And the profit and loss on each one, when they were sent, etc., so that you can chase them up. Your field resources or your field team members, FTMs, or your contractors or your engineers. This is a list of all of those. So we don't put one in the wizard, but I'm sure you're going to have more than one. So if you want to add more than one, and generally speaking what you'll find is this is like the sort of filing system on the right. Always click that and have a look for some further information. And you've got add FTM there. So add as many as you like. Your schedules, well, this will give you an overview of what those guys are doing for you today. And you may want to go back and see what ones are doing individually. Your financial system, that's just a basic high-level overview of your profit and loss for that month or any other month that you want to do. So if you want to search on that, you can do that down here. Payments, any payments that you've made out to your engineers or suppliers will go there. And this one here, which I've got listed Huey, is you can list another 3 or 4 or so specific tabs that you use most often. There is a video showing you on how to do that. I've listed the most useful contractor for us so that I can always have a look at his schedule and where he is that day. And if we go across here and pick an order, we will see that the menu on the left arrives, which is a menu to help us show us what to do inside that particular order. So once we've created an order, we've got another list. We've got a general order overview. And just to explain, you'll have an account and an order. An account is, say for instance, Sainsbury's head office, and an order is a job that needs doing at one of their branches, for instance. So, repairing a refrigeration system. The bills are paid at the accounts department or the head office number, and the job might take place in several different locations. So the site address, details, etc. An appointment, where we can create an appointment for one of our engineers. So we click that tab and say we want to send a quote out in the first instance. We'll put it 30 minutes. We can send information about this quote or the time it's going to appear to either a field team member or a customer. And we can send them SMS details about when it's going to start, so they're reminded, etc. And then we basically just pick a time for our engineer and we confirm that appointment. I won't do that because this is a live system. Customer service, fairly self-explanatory. You may want to leave notes about this particular job so that you don't forget and your colleagues understand when you've gone off. So and when you see this green bar at the top, I suggest you click it. You don't have to, but it just means it moves the whole system to up and down the page so you don't have to keep scrolling. Charges, this is where you want to build up a financial overview of each individual order, which will help your accounts out. So you add customer charges. So if you're going to take, say, a deposit for paint in the first instance, you would put it on here. Add a charge, deposit, £100. As I said, there are videos for each individual section on this. This video is just for a high-level overview of the system. And you can now send off an invoice to that customer, send an invoice, send a payment request if you've got a payment gateway installed into the Flobot. And if your customer has paid, you can record the payment very similarly again. How did they pay? £100 by backs. Now we can see that they've got no balance outstanding, and if I was to send an invoice here, it would reflect exactly what has happened there. Deposit received by backs, nothing to pay so far. Financial, which is probably going to change to cost soon. So your contractor payments can be entered in here, and the cost of materials, etc. And this will give you, once you've entered this information in, you start to build up a profile of each individual order, which means at the end of the month you know exactly what's happened with all of your orders, and that information can be exported to your accounts package. So here, because we haven't put any costs in, we've got gross profit on this order of £100. Flobot has a quotation system built into it, so if you want to build quotes, you can quite quickly. There is another video on this, but you can add a quote there, and basically this is what one of the quotes will look like. So you have now built up the costs of your materials and your contractors or your employees, and you've put the charges that you need to put in for your customer. It will add VAT if you're VAT registered, and you can now send that off by email to your customer. Once you've had a look at it, it's going to look something like that. You can hide all of these individual lines if you want to, and it will go out through the postmark system, so it's not going to get caught in a spam filter to your customer when you send that. Hit that button and it will end up back in here so that you can see when you sent it, and then you need to go and obviously chase those customers for acceptance of your quotes. Let's just go back to the orders again, because there's one more tab we need to explain on that. So you've got your quotes finally and the document store, and here you can put any sort of document you might want to, schematics, you might want to put in invoices, etc. That have come from your suppliers. You might want to put in invoices that have come from your contractors, so that you have all of the information about this particular job held in one place. So when there are any queries, you know when to go for them, where exactly to go for them. They're all held. You don't have to search for them anymore. If we go to the right now, we'll have 3 more tabs across the top here. This first one is a task system. This again is appearing on another video, and this allows you to go into a job, for instance, and create a task for someone else to do something. So you may want to pass that along to another colleague. You might want to pass it along to an engineer to do something, as in, please go and order some carpet. That will appear in their task schedule then, and when they click on the task, they will see the tasks that have been assigned to them, and your tasks will appear in here as well. This one is the users. So you as the system administrator can decide who goes onto the system and what level of access that they have. So if you need to add some more, you just go up here, add a user, put the details in as you did in the wizard, and they will now have access to the system. And finally, if you need to, and I'm sure you will, settings. Now we've done a very brief wizard, which means you have the most basic settings that will enable you now to have a play with the system and see if it's the right system for you and see how it works for you. But you're going to need to customize it further over time probably, and it is very customizable, and it has a lot of areas that you can customize to tailor to your business, and they're all held in the settings section. And there is another video, you won't be surprised to hear, which shows you exactly how to configure all of the settings, so I won't go into that here now. We'll go back to the dashboard, and pretty much that is a general overview of Flobot. If you're completely new to Flobot, I suggest that you look for the video which is how to create an appointment, because that is the starting point for using the system.